Every desperate man wears the same invisible collar. It's forged from wanting, hammered by need, and tightened by desperation. You can see it in his eyes. The hunger, the reaching, the silent plea. Everyone around him feels it. That needy energy radiating like heat from a fever. Women sense it instantly. Employers smell it on him. Friends begin to pull away. Because neediness is nature's warning signal. A flashing red light that screams weakness. The more desperately you want something, the more it runs from you. This isn't cruelty. It's psychology. It's how the human mind works. Want creates a prison in your mind. Every thought becomes a guard. Every conversation becomes a negotiation. Every interaction becomes a transaction. You stop being a man. You become a beggar with a hidden cup. Your thoughts circle the same obsessions. Your peace dies 1,000 deaths daily. This is the psychology of the collar, the chains you can't see but always feel. But what if I told you there was a way to break free completely? If you're finding value in this, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Seneca's breakthrough came through personal agony. Exiled from Rome, stripped of power, he watched his mind fracture under the weight of wanting. That's when he discovered the hidden prison that destroys every man. Need itself was the enemy, not the lack of money, love, or status, but the psychological dependence on having them. He realized most men lived as slaves to their own desires. Seneca distinguished between preference and desperation. A free man might prefer wealth, but never needs it to survive emotionally. A slave cannot imagine happiness without his desires fulfilled. This discovery revolutionized Roman philosophy. Need was not natural human condition. It was learned helplessness masquerading as love. And like all learned behaviors, it could be unlearned. But first, you had to see the chains you'd been calling love. Here lies the cruelest irony of human psychology. The moment you stop needing something, it begins rushing toward you. Seneca witnessed this paradox in the Roman courts daily. Desperate senators grasped for power, and lost everything, while those who appeared indifferent attracted influence like magnets. In relationships, this principle becomes devastatingly clear. The person who needs nothing from others becomes irresistibly attractive. Their detachment signals strength, mystery, abundance, while desperation broadcasts weakness from miles away. In business, this paradox multiplies fortunes. The entrepreneur who doesn't need the deal gets the best terms. Because when you're willing to walk away, they chase you. But here's what separates masters from pretenders. True detachment isn't a strategy you perform. It's a fundamental transformation of who you are. Building on the paradox we discovered, Seneca developed something revolutionary. A technique so powerful it could kill emotional dependency at its root. He called it voluntary loss, the deliberate practice of giving up what you think you cannot live without. Every morning Seneca would imagine losing his wealth, his position, even his life, not as punishment, but as liberation. This wasn't morbid thinking. It was surgical precision. He was rewiring his brain's reward system, one meditation at a time. Here's the psychology behind it. When you voluntarily experience loss in your mind, you break the addiction to having. Your dopamine system stops expecting rewards from external things. The craving dies because you've already survived the loss. Seneca practiced this with everything: his relationships, his reputation, his comfort. Nothing was off limits to this mental discipline. The result was terrifying to those around him. A man who genuinely needed nothing became impossible to control or manipulate. But here's the crucial part. This wasn't about becoming cold or uncaring, it was about choosing your attachments consciously. When you're not desperate for love, you can give it freely. When you don't need respect, you command it naturally. The exercise isn't just imagination. You actively practice small losses. Skip meals. Sleep on the floor, give away possessions. Each voluntary discomfort builds psychological muscle. You're training your mind that survival doesn't depend on comfort. This is how you kill the need within. Building on what we covered, something extraordinary happens when you kill the need within. Your brain literally rewires itself. The neural pathways that once craved external validation begin to atrophy. New pathways form. Pathways of self-possession, of internal authority, of unshakable confidence. Seneca understood this transformation wasn't just philosophical, it was neurological, psychological, complete. When you stop seeking approval from others, your entire personality architecture shifts. The anxiety centers in your brain quiet. The stress response that once triggered with every judgment fades. You develop what psychologists call internal locus of control. Your validation comes from within. This internal validation doesn't just change how you feel, it changes how others perceive you. People sense authentic confidence. They're drawn to it. They follow it. They respect it. Self-possessed men become natural leaders, not through force, but through presence. Through certainty. When you need nothing from others, you paradoxically attract everything to yourself. Your mind becomes your fortress. Your character becomes your crown. This is the psychology of self-possession, the inner transformation that changes everything. But how do you live this way in the real world? How do you walk as a truly free man? You've learned to kill the need. Now comes the hardest part. Living as a truly free man in a world designed to enslave your mind. Seneca knew that freedom isn't a destination. It's a daily discipline. Every morning, before the world attacks your peace, you must fortify your mind. Ask yourself, what am I attached to today that I don't actually need? Your phone buzzes. Your first instinct reveals everything about your inner state. The free man feels no urgency to respond, no compulsion to check. Someone offers you validation. You feel nothing, because you need nothing from them. But beware. Neediness is like a virus. It creeps back when you're not watching. The moment you catch yourself seeking approval, stop. Breathe. Remember who you are. You are complete. You are sufficient. You are untouchable. This is what Seneca discovered in his final years. True power lies in needing no one's permission to be great. You've learned the psychology. Now live it. Every single day. If this opened your eyes, smash that like button, and subscribe for more.